I do want to start, though, now with some breaking news. Take a look at this. We are getting this update out of Poland. However, the entire update is in Polish at the moment, but it does concern the fact that the country early on Wednesday said that multiple Russian drones entered and were shot down over its territory with help from NATO allies, describing the incident as, quote, an act of aggression carried out during a wave of Russian strikes on Ukraine. Several European leaders said they believed Russia was intentionally escalating the war, and NATO was discussing the incident in a meeting. It came 3 days after Russia's largest aerial attack on Ukraine since the war began, an attack that for the first time hit a key government building in Kyiv. We do have some social media posts here from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky responding to this entire incident. I'd like to bring them up here on your screen next. I'll read some of it for you now. And he says this, quote, another report from the commander of our Air Force. We are clarifying all available data and analyzing the details of this Russian strike. Already during the night, Ukrainian forces were informing the Polish side through the relevant channels about the movement of Russian drones. He then goes on to give the time at which that first crossing of the state border between Ukraine and Poland by a Russian drone was recorded. He goes on to say, at least 2 Russian drones that entered Polish territory during the night used Belarusian airspace. In total, at least several dozen Russian drones were moving along the border of Ukraine and Belarus and across the regions of Ukraine, approaching targets on Ukrainian territory and apparently on Polish territory. He does go on with another social media post here, continuing with, quote, the number of Russian drones that traversed into Poland and penetrated deeply into its territory may be greater than the previously announced figure. According to updated data, around 24 of Russian drones may have entered Polish airspace during the night. We are verifying this. Our air defense forces destroyed more than 380 Russian drones of various types. At least 250 of them were Shaheeds. Precise information on the drone types will be determined after an analysis of the debris. Ukraine is ready to expand our cooperation with partners for reliable protection of the sky so that we have not only information and intelligence data sharing, but also real joint actions that guarantee security of the neighbors. Russia must feel that Europeans know how to defend themselves. Speaking of that, I do want to bring up some footage that was also recorded on earlier today. So take a look at this. We are seeing this defense ministers meeting. It's happening over in London, I do believe, where they're going to be talking about some of the defense that they are going to be providing for Ukraine amid their war with Russia. So you see several heads of state here. Again, this happening earlier today. And I do want to reiterate that this is happening in London, in which British Defense Secretary John Healey hosting his counterparts from the E5 group of nations that includes France, Germany, Italy, and Poland. And this was recorded ahead of a meeting on the latest developments in providing military support to Ukraine. So you see them there. They're taking a photo with all of the photographers, reporters on the ground. It is not entirely clear if we're going to get any video or maybe the footage from inside of that meeting when it takes place, or if they're going to be giving some remarks afterwards. But of course, if they do, we'll bring it to you here, as always, on Live Now from Fox.